got bullied a lot for being a weirdo because I never had a chance. I was born a weirdo. Am I allowed to curse?
Yes.
I love
Free
Manson.
fucking speech. That's what we do here.
I fucking love Manson's music. I always have. I have like dimmed my light for so long in my life for in fear of retaliation on the internet. I've diminished my light in fear of like emasculating men I've dated. I feel like I've diminished my light around family because for some people what I am is kind of a lot and not traditional. And I just got so tired of like playing down shit.
Our guest today is Ash Costello of New Year's Day. Horror, theater, music, drama, art, beauty, social media. We talk about it all and why you should never diminish your own light. Welcome to Fire with Fire.
Hi.
I'm your friend, Ryan J. Downey.
Hi, Ryan. I'm Ashley, also your friend.
Also my friend, Ashley Costello, welcome.
How long have we been friends?
I was trying to figure that out. Actually, I was talking to a mutual friend of ours this morning, trying to figure that out. And I want to say it was at least it had to have been earlier than 2000. I don't know, like 2012 or something maybe?
I was actually gonna pull 2012 out of nowhere because I just felt like that was
around
the time we started talking. And
yeah.
How long, what are we in, 2025 now? That's over 10 years.
That's crazy.
You've known me through like 5 boyfriends. So that's how I count.
How you can measure it in time, yeah.
Couple marriages, couple
I know,
boyfriends.
yeah, and then I never know if I need to unfollow those dudes or not.
You always need to unfollow them. That's 100%, just never forget that.
Yeah. There's one I think I need to get in there and unfollow still. I love that. So I want to talk about, first of all, I wanted to go all the way back to young Ashley. What was the first music that you fell in love with? And then at what point did you realize like, oh, this isn't just something I love, this is something I need to participate in? Like,
Easy. That's easy. Michael Jackson.
wow.
Yeah, Michael Jackson. So my grandma babysat me a lot after school till way late in the night because my mom worked night shifts and she was a single mom. And so my grandma was super eccentric. I think I've talked to you about my grandma before. Mm-hmm. She was a practicing Wiccan. She made like horror movie props. She was just a total weirdo, which is where I definitely inherited it from.
And where did she get it from? Do you know? Like how?
I think she got it from her grandma, who was like a gypsy woman in Sicily, like palm reading, crystal ball gazing, that kind of stuff. Like my grandma was the kind of person who.
They gave us this.
They gave us this?
That's the evil eye. That's an Italian.
See,
Yeah.
did.
Dio says he got
know.
it from his Italian grandmother.
Is that my bad rocker?
No.
I didn't know that. I know
Gene Simmons does it wrong.
No, I know Dio claimed this, but I don't actually know the backstory.
Yeah, it's the evil eye. It's to ward off evil.
Oh, I just thought it was, mad props to Satan, y'all.
Wait, now I think it's just like rock and roll.
Oh, okay.
Or it's I love you.
Now I don't know if it has any meaning at all anymore. Now I'm just
so.
like, put your horns up. It's just like naturally comes out of my mouth now when we're on stage. But she was the kind of person who, when I was in high school, I got bullied a lot because I was a weirdo. There was not to date myself, but there was no cell phones, there was no social media, there was no, we didn't even have computers in our houses at all when I was, when we were
when you got a computer, it was like in the den.
We had the
everyone
designated computer
yeah.
room. We had a whole room for the
Yeah.
computer. But I'm talking way even before. I remember playing an Atari at my grandma's house. Like I'm making it sound like I'm a dinosaur.
I was gonna say that's crazy because you're like 25, so I don't know how that. I'm trying to do the math.
So weird. So I got bullied a lot for being a weirdo because I never had a chance. I was born a weirdo. And she would tell me like, go get their picture from the yearbook, and we would wrap it in tinfoil and put it in the freezer. So early on, she always had like a bag of crystals in her bra, stuff like that.
Did you ever see any, like, were you able to draw some connections that some of that had worked?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That girl never bullied me, and so that's why I totally believe in stuff like that. I feel like a lot of it's misunderstood and misused now, but I mean, she was old school. So anyway, weirdos just ran in my family. And now I don't even remember where I'm going with that. Why'd you ask me?
Michael Jackson.
Oh,
also a weirdo, one might say.
You know what? But in like a
R.I.P.?
good way. No, R.I.P. and a weirdo.
Troubled.
But I think in a good way. In a good way. And I know some people like kind of give me a hard time for being a Michael Jackson fan, and whatever you believe in when it comes to Michael Jackson, fair play to you. I just know that for me, it's a super huge part of who I am. So it's very nostalgic for me, and I can kind of separate that
Yeah.
for better or for worse. And
I still listen to Burzum and watch Woody Allen movies, so
ooh, see, there you go.
you know,
Wait,
art is art.
Did you say I still listen to Manson?
Burzum. Well,
I
and
was gonna
Manson.
say, I still listen to Manson.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to curse?
Yes.
I love
Free
Manson.
fucking speech. That's what we do here.
I fucking love Manson's music. I always have, and I still do. And so she would always put on the Moonwalker VHS. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Where Michael Jackson turned into a car and like a panther, I think.
See,
I think he turned into a Tesla.
I'm dating myself, but I remember as a very little kid waiting up for the MTV world premiere of Thriller when it was like the big John Landis
That's
music
cool
video.
though.
Yeah.
I remember I didn't realize how music videos worked, and I went into Blockbuster on my own as a kid and was like, I want to rent Thriller. And they're like, what are you saying? I was like, I want to rent Thriller. I want to see Thriller. So I didn't know where to see it, but I knew what it was. Turns out you can't rent music videos. I didn't realize.
You should have been able to. That would have been.
I agree. I thought it was a movie. I didn't know it was a music
I mean,
video. I didn't
kinda.
understand. So my grandma would put it on for me every night, and there's this very specific scene in that VHS where they're showing, before it goes into the storyline, they're showing his live footage, and I remember the girls at the barricades like reaching for him, and I don't know why, but at a young age I really understood what that meant. Like he meant something to them. He was really important in their lives. He did something impactful in a positive way for them, and I remember as a little kid thinking, I'm not meant to be on that side of the barricade. I'm meant to be on the stage. And I've never faltered from that. It was like instantaneous, I wanted to be on stage.
That's incredible.
I know. Right?
And that's like, and about how old do you think then?
Gosh, like 5?
Wow.
5 maybe?
The self-possession, that's been like a through line in a lot of the conversations we've been having for this series. Is
Really?
people that from a young age have that just like,
I'm a psycho.
this is who I am, this is what I'm gonna do.
I'm a psycho. Everyone's like, so many people are like, how are you still going? Like, not like, how are you still from
today,
like
3 Red Bulls.
Well, yeah,
but in general.
I had 3 Red Bulls and I shouldn't have this coffee. But they're like, I've been doing it for 20, like my first Warped Tour was 20 years ago. And
how is that possible?
I know.
All kidding aside, I don't know that the math, how's the math even check out
I started
young.
I started pretty young. Yeah, my first like real incantation of New Year's Day I was maybe 15 years old. So last year. And
yes,
yeah. And people ask me like, how are you still going? It's like with the same like passion and force and drive that I had 20 years ago. And the answer I give is like, I am psychotic. You have to be psychotic.
But you also don't know what else to do, right? What else would you do?
There's all kinds of stuff I want to do. Oh, I have so many ideas,
but you're
so many
doing
things I want to do.
But you're doing all that stuff too.
I was just telling the makeup artist one thing I want to do, and like my mind is always spinning out of control with all these ideas I have that I really have to like go settle down, like stop, focus on one thing. And so it's really hits me like a ton of bricks that this year it feels like a full circle moment that I'm going to be on Warped Tour 20 years later. Wild.
And isn't it crazy to think about when you started doing Warped Tour, the older brothers and older sisters, the old guard of Warped was like NoFX and Pennywise and like, those are the bands that like used to do Warped, and like now New Year's Day is coming back as a band that used to do Warped.
I know.
It's a
Whoa.
whole different generational shift, right? But I mean,
now I felt a little old just then.
No, but it's endurance is what that says to me. Like, you're still a relevant band that's doing things 20 years later.
Well, thank you.
And it's not just a nostalgia show.
It's very hard. It takes a lot of mental gymnastics to jump through or jump over all the speed bumps that get thrown at your way constantly. But when I think about Warped Tour, it's like, I have these like flashes and moments in my life where I know we're life-changing, and 2003 Warped Tour, like that was another Michael Jackson moment. I snuck in because my mom said there was gang members at Warped Tour and I wasn't allowed to go. I don't know what she thought was going on there.
Did your mom know about Courage Crew? Was she looking for
Courage Crew?
FSU? Although I'm just thinking like old hardcore crews. But, yeah.
I don't know why she thought there was
Shout
gangs.
out to DMS and.
I think she saw a chain link fence around it, and she was like, there's like sketchy stuff going in there.
Fair enough.
So we snuck into the Ventura Warped Tour, and I snuck in just in time to see the Used playing Taste of Ink, and Bert was climbing up on the rafters, and he jumped down, and I had another like, I don't belong in the crowd, I belong where he's at.
We might have been at this. We might have been at that same Warped
Ventura?
Tour together. I'm trying to think of Ventura. I definitely was at Warped Tour in 2003, and I'm trying to remember if it was Ventura.
Was My Chemical Romance on that year?
I did a thing, again, dating myself. I produced a thing with Andrew WK where he interviewed all the bands at Warped Tour, and it was either 2003 or 2004. Was it the Ataris were there? I don't know.
That makes sense.
It all sort of overlaps
makes
with each other.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember who else was on.
It's just Warped Tour.
I don't remember. I can't remember anything else about that Warped Tour.
But the Used.
Except the Used. And then I can't remember what Warped Tour we were on. Maybe 2015 where the Used was on it too. And I stopped Bert at a catering and told him that story. And he was so nice and gracious about this story. And then asked if I would sing Taste of Ink that day on stage with him.
Wow.
I know.
I didn't know that.
I've had a lot of weird full circle moments in my life.
So, Bert has a notebook, everything from that era, from those two big records. He had written all the lyrics and like little journals and had drawn like cartoons and stuff like that, and had lost it at some point. And somebody popped up on eBay a couple years ago trying to sell it for like $15,000, $20,000
awesome and
or
messed
whatever.
up
Yeah,
at the same
exactly.
time.
But there's a happy ending where they were able to like track the person down and talk to them and be like, this is really meaningful. I'd really like to have this back.
Yeah.
And now it's coming out as a book.
I love that idea.
Isn't that rad? Like a coffee table book that's just like his notebook.
That's another one of my ideas.
Yeah.
I want to do like 10 different coffee table books. I have a list like this long.
I want to see that list someday.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So early New Year's Day, obviously, the first incarnation of that was much different than what it would become in some ways, and in some ways very similar, and of course you being the constant and creative engine there. What was your vision for it in the beginning? And then what were some of the kind of significant moments where it evolved into what we know it as?
New Year's Day in the beginning, I wanted to be ugly. I wanted it to be ugly. Well, in the beginning, I was like, there was a lot of fake blood being used. There was a lot of like, I would put fake bruises and like cuts on my face and stuff. And I honestly can look back and I'm like, I don't know why that's what I wanted it to be at first. And then, as I started to kind of embrace the dark and like kind of gothic side, that started popping up more. And then once I found like my people, like 2 records in, I found my core band members, and one of which is Nikki Misery, who's still with me today. He's been in the band for like 12 years.
Shout out Nikki Misery.
I know. I'm gonna see him later tonight. And we always like get together when I come into California. He's my best friend. And I never had a plan. I really didn't. Like even this hair was an accident. I just was like, I dyed my hair every color you could think of over the years. And I just really liked Harley Quinn, and I thought this would be fun to do, and there was never a plan. Everyone was like, wow, what a good idea. Like the brand was like,
right.
I didn't think
It's
of that
iconic.
at all.
You created this thing and you're like, kinda, but not on purpose.
Oh my gosh. I did an interview with Tori.
Yeah, I love Tori. Yeah.
Yes. And you know what? I have like dimmed my light for so long in my life for in fear of retaliation on the internet, in fear of like.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that.
Oh, can't wait. On a fear of like, I've diminished my light in fear of like emasculating men I've dated. I feel like I've diminished my light around family because for some people what I am is kind of a lot and not traditional. And I just got so tired of like playing down shit. So on the interview, I was like, yeah, I will take credit for that. Yes, the hairstyle existed, but it became a thing once in like 2013 when Chris and I did Angel Eyes, the hair became a thing. And you weren't a Motionless in White fan or New Year's Day fan without seeing at least one person with this hair every
The half heads. That's your people.
Yes.
Yeah. Kiss has the Kiss Army. Ice Nine Kills has the Psychos.
I have
Black Veil has
half-heads,
Black Veil Army.
apparently.
You have the half heads.
They named themselves.
As the best fan group should, Juggalos named themselves.
We were actually nominated for Best Fan Base at the AP Music Awards, RAP. I miss those days.
Yeah.
I miss those days so much. I saw a video, someone posted a throwback. Oh, it was the designer of the dress I was wearing on stage when I presented. I think I presented an award to Rob Zombie, I can't remember. And it made me miss those days so bad. I miss like metal and rock award shows.
And also in building the APMAs, they were very smart to partner with Kevin Lyman and have Warped Tour routed through Cleveland where the show took place. And then the Rock Hall was there, so it was like we could do all that stuff together.
That was so much fun. Those are like the best moments of my life. Like the greatest memories I think I'll ever have was doing those award shows. And it was like a big prom night. It felt like prom.
It did.
Because I didn't really go to prom. I did.
We have an APMA's photo together that's a prom photo.
I'm sure we have several.
Well,
Because
we
I
do,
always
but,
do the
but there's
let's
one I'm
do a
thinking
prom pose.
that's prom pose. Yeah.
Yeah, I literally force you to do a
Yeah.
prom
pretty great.
pose every time. So I'm like, always forget what you asked me.
We're still in the same wheelhouse.
Oh,
We're talking
okay.
about the evolution of, and even before we get to what the band is right now, I want to go back to what you were saying about that idea of like making it ugly, and where was that inspiration coming from?
My Chemical Romance. That's when I was just enamored with what they were. I feel like, yes, I loved Michael Jackson, and I loved the darker stuff like Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, Marilyn Manson, all the the darker stuff in the 90s. But I never really felt like this is my band until My Chemical Romance came out. I had this moment of like, oh, this is where I belong. I found it. I found my people.
Yeah. The MC Army.
Yes, the MC
Yeah.
Army. And I wanted to be him really bad. I wanted to be him so bad. And to talk about another full circle moment, I ended up getting to write a song with him, which was just like the whole time I was like, this is not happening. Like, what am I doing here? I shouldn't be here. This is wrong. I've broken like I've gone to the other side of the universe where I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be here. And he had a saying that said, stay beautiful, but keep it ugly. And I mean, I would have tattooed those words on my forehead because I felt like, I don't know, being a girl in a band felt like you had to be pretty, and I never grew up feeling pretty. Like I said, I got made fun of bad. I was bullied really bad my whole childhood. And so I never really embraced feeling pretty till much older, like probably not even until my 30s. I didn't really
And
feel
really taking
pretty.
ownership of defining that for yourself and creating this lane for yourself where you're like the queen of that crowd.
Well, it took a while to get that confidence because I didn't feel like the queen or the boss of anything, or like it's weird because the first meeting I had at our record label that we're not with anymore, I remember we were essentially nobody, even though in my mind I always thought I was a rock star, but we weren't anybody. And I walked in that meeting and I said, I can be an icon. I know it. I feel it in my heart. And they kind of were like, expressionless about it. And then I went to the hallway and someone who was in that meeting literally pulled me aside and said, don't ever call yourself an icon. It sounds like, I can't remember the exact word he used, but it was like, that sounds pretentious or big-headed. Like, don't call yourself an icon. I was like, fuck you. I know I'm an icon. It's in here. And I feel like I had to struggle for a long time to like own it. But that's why on that Tori interview, I was like, you know what? I'm going to own it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to own what I feel like is mine. And it pissed a lot of people off. That hairstyle existed before you. I never even heard of you. And my friend had that hairstyle. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. We all know it. And even if you tell me it's not true, I know you fucking know it too.
And there's always an interesting like lineage with things like that in general. In counterculture and pop culture, there's always going to be someone who's going to say, well, no, and this, and no, and that, and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, we all know.
I don't care.
You just know you know.
I don't care anymore. So it took me a long time to embrace being pretty, and now we can all see that I have fully embraced it because even I was a little shocked by what I chose to wear on our last tour because half my butt was hanging out. And even my guys were like, who are you? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm feeling it. Like, I want to go up there and shake my butt. Like, why not? Why can't I be the middle cheerleader, essentially? Like, why can't I be both? And so I finally embraced, like, I can be in a rock band and be with the boys, but I can, like, be a Tinkerbell and be a princess and have, embrace my body shape and embrace what I have and feel confident about it. And that really fucks with people. Mm-hmm. Man, does it put a target on your back. Like, having confidence makes you, I feel like 1,000 million times more hated. People don't
Absolutely.
like it. Yeah.
But also 1,000 times more beloved by a certain contingent of people who have gone through or are going through a similar evolution where maybe they're bullied or maybe they feel insecure or maybe they're not owning. I love the phrase you used, diminishing your light. those are people that you're empowering because they can look to you
get
as an
that a lot.
example of like, that's how you can do it. Yeah, I see it. That's what.
Yeah, I get told
That's
that
a
a
lot of
lot.
your comments and things like that.
As equal to the negativity I get, I do get a lot of support and a lot of really sweet messages about how me standing up for myself or me kind of powering through the 15 different cancellations I've been through, and standing tall with my head held high has helped them get through, you know, maybe a divorce or a breakup or getting bullied at school or whatever. So I've tried to kind of use that to fuel my fire, like for my own confidence. Because I'm like, all right, if it's helping somebody, then I'm going to keep going for it.
And to balance out the rest of it, right? Because that's
Yeah.
where all those positive, I mean, one comment like that is worth 10,000
But it's always
shitty
the hateful
ones.
ones that feels the
course.
loudest and like stings the worst. And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm a human. And I go,
Yeah.
oh, you don't like my butt? Ouch, that hurts.
And it is the ones that you remember, right? It's like, you know,
Yeah.
I got to interview Tony Iommi once, and it's on YouTube, and there's hundreds of comments and lots of positive ones, but I just
Someone
remember
was
the one
hateful?
where someone said, "Stop interrupting Tony Iommi."
Oh no,
was
he's
like,
really.
We're having a conversation, though.
It's still in your mind.
That's the only one I remember out of like hundreds of, you know, this is a great interview. Yeah.
It's always
human
the
nature, right?
negative ones that are the loudest. That's
Yeah,
true.
human nature. But one of my favorite, my absolute favorite hateful comment I've ever gotten was a couple years ago.
Oh, I love that you have a favorite.
I have a favorite because it was just so a cell phone on this person. This person really stepped on a rake. It was an interview I did with Ace Frehley, and
Cool.
and it was a Zoom interview, so it was like cutting back and forth. And so it was just a screenshot of me, and the guy had taken a screenshot, and then he said like, "Who the fuck are you to be talking to Ace Frehley? You're like 25. You weren't even born when Kiss was big."
Thank you, sir.
And I was like,
you did not insult me.
I was like,
at
I'm
all.
so
Joke's
insulted.
on
Yeah,
you.
I like screenshot it and put it on Instagram.
You framed it.
Oh, yeah,
It's on
exactly.
your fridge.
It lives in my soul.
You put it
Yeah.
on your mirror so you can see every day and go, I'm 25. I look
Like,
25.
yes, you're right. I wasn't even born
What
when
was, his,
Kiss was
what
around.
was his screen name?
I don't remember the screen name.
Okay, well, sorry, Ace Frehley fan 69, but I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah, thanks for that. Scathing attack. Yeah, I'm just very wounded by it. So I love, you mentioned, you used the phrase female fronted. And I love that we now live in a time in rock music and hard rock music and heavy music where that phrase is kind of going away.
Yeah.
And I feel like you are a big part of that too, in terms of diminishing your own light. I think you should give yourself credit there because it used to be,
you.
oh, this tour is all female fronted bands, or this is the female fronted version of this band, or this is, and
Yeah.
we used to have the hottest chicks in metal was like a thing.
Hey, I like that. Though.
I mean-
I get it.
yeah.
I get why it had to go away, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm a princess, and so
Yeah.
every time they ask me to be in it, I'm like, stop it. Of course I'll be in it.
Well, I
Hottest chicks. I mean, come on.
I do remember there was a time where I was hanging out with Bleeding Through, and it's 20,
I
20
loved her
years ago.
cover
And
with Kat Von D.
yeah, and
loved that cover.
this was even before that.
Oh.
But I just remember, so Brian Lepke, who was the guitar player in Bleeding Through, was like a very dry, sarcastic, funny, mean type of friend. Quiet, and then he comes in with the cutting barbs.
I know
remember
those.
Marta coming in just like super excited, and she's like, guess what, you guys? Metal Hammer named me one of the 10 hottest chicks in metal. And everyone's like, oh, cool, congratulations. And then Lepke just goes, yeah, too bad there's only 11 chicks in metal.
I mean, he's not wrong. He probably wouldn't have been wrong.
Yeah, and back then too,
That's
right?
a great comment, actually. It's actually pretty funny.
Good burn.
I think they changed it to like the top 30 at one point or something.
No, that's not
I
as
can't
fun.
remember.
But it certainly grew.
I
and it
kinda
certainly
missed it.
expanded. Yeah?
Well, yeah. Not that we need a rating system, but you always got that call and you felt like super.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always felt like super flattered.
That was like part of the whole thing. I guess the criticism comes in where anytime you feel like it's being reduced to that.
Yes,
Versus-
it shouldn't be reduced to your physical attributes, and that shouldn't have anything to do with where you land on a scale of being a metal artist. I understand that, but you know what? I'm still a girl, and I like a compliment. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
I'm not gonna
rad.
lie. I do look back and I go, I can't believe I shot some of those shots because they were like kind of naked, some of them. But you know what? Again, that's something I've completely embraced now. I love shooting naked. Like, that's my favorite thing to do in the whole world.
We
Besides
guys,
taking
can we? Sorry.
Besides taking naps and hanging out with my boyfriend and my dogs, like, as far as being an artist goes, like, one of my favorite ways to express myself, and I'm sure you've noticed over the years, is like, I love shooting nude. All my album covers are nude. I've done so many
Jeremy
different...
Saffer's going to be here in about 10 minutes.
Jeremy Saffer, poor Jeremy Saffer. He's seen my... He's probably, besides like my boyfriend, the person that's seen my butt the most in the world. And he never complains.
Well, Jeremy Saffer is a great segue into something I very much want to talk to you about in terms of your formative years. When I think about you, one of the things I think about is like Anaheim, Orange County, Disney.
Yeah.
And Saffer, of course, is like the king.
I got him into Disney. Well, he says I did, because I'm pretty
Oh,
sure...
got him into it.
Yes, I'm
'Cause
pretty sure the
he's
first time
into
he
it.
went to Disney was with me.
Wow.
I think so, and now he's like full-blown like enamel pin trader,
Oh, yeah.
and they go all the time.
They
and his
go
beautiful
all the
girlfriend.
time. And for people watching this who don't know, yeah, him and his girlfriend live on the East Coast.
Yeah,
They're here.
they fly here.
This is
just
how
for it.
this is how much they're here. I go once every couple of years, maybe twice a year at most. And I was there a couple of times ago, ran into Jeremy.
That
Just
is so
just
crazy.
Randomly ran
You
into him.
haven't gone to Disneyland unless you run into Jeremy Saffer.
Well, here's the thing. So I ran into both of them, and it was great and lovely. And we hung out and took pictures together and did a couple rides together. And then, I don't know, 6 months later, I was back at Disneyland.
Stop it.
And I texted him, and I was like, hey, I'm at Disney, just thinking about you. Thought I'd say hi. I saw somebody, sorry I ran into you.
Don't
And
tell me he was there.
He responded, we're parking.
Oh my gosh, that's
were
I
there.
believe it. That's
We hung out again.
I thought I used to go to Disney a lot. I mean, I still think I'm probably the queen of going
Yeah.
to Disney a lot, but Jeremy Saffer and his beautiful girlfriend definitely get second place. Because I could like open my window and throw a rock at Disneyland. You know, my
Right,
whole life.
that's what
I
I'm
grew up
saying.
right
Like,
there.
it's a lot easier for you to get there than that.
Yeah, now I've moved out of the state now, so I only get to go like once a year. We just did our once a year Disney trip, and we got there super late. So, we had to drop off the dogs and get the dog sitter and drive from a different state. And so we got there, we only got to do a couple rides, sad, but.
But you still got it in.
Oh yeah, well my boyfriend had never been to Disneyland.
Ah.
I know, that was the second time now.
Wow.
And he lets me drag him around.
You're introducing people to it all over the
I
place.
am constantly
He may
introducing
turn
people
into a Saffer. You never know.
I doubt it, but I think he tolerates Disneyland on my behalf.
Well, that's very sweet of him. That's the kind of man we need with Ash Costello.
Yes, because I get excited and I just start going, let's go here, let's eat this, let's go do this, right? And he's just so patient. He just follows me like, oh yeah, whatever you want to do, let's go on Thunder Railroad for the 6th time in a row, whatever you want to do.
So of all the ingredients that came together to build this person, Disney, I mean, that's like some percentage in there, right?
Yeah,
Haunted
that's a big
Mansion
one.
specifically, I think.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
You're right.
Haunted Mansion connotation.
Well, like I said, my grandma was weird, and they were all musical theater entertainers. They all did that stuff. My 2 uncles, her 2 sons, who were in the 80s when they were babysitting me a lot, were like, I would consider trad goths and theater kids. I think I've told you that. Like, they listened to Susie and the Banshees and Eurythmics and Blondie, and I always felt like I was a little bit cooler than all the other kids at school because I had 2 cool uncles.
You were way cooler because of that.
Right?
Trad goths in the
felt
bloodline?
cooler, and I wanted to dress like them so bad. But this was like the 80s and the early 90s. There wasn't a Hot Topic, and I was so small. I remember the first pair of pants I begged my mom to get me from Hot Topic were a 00, and she still had to safety pin them in the back because I was too tiny for even the smallest size at Hot Topic for anything to fit me. And you couldn't get black lipstick then. You could only get like Fantasy Maker Elvira from CVS during October. And it was the shittiest black lipstick in the world.
You have to stock up.
Oh, and it would go bad in like 2 days. It was the worst. And I wanted to paint my nails black, but where did you find black nail polish then? Like, it was actually legitimately hard to be goth in the 80s.
And by the way, shout out to Hot Topic, because as much as people would talk shit over the years,
Dude.
I always thought, like, if you live in some remote town where there's nothing around and you don't have access to things, having one of those in your mall is incredible. The whole world is in there.
Dude, and when Hot Topic first came to our mall, there wasn't internet either. So if I wanted a pair of bondage pants, like, bless you, Hot Topic. Where else was I going to get my first pair of creepers?
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. There was a goth store. There still is a goth store. It's the original, like the oldest goth store in Orange County. It's still there. I still think the same vampire who's worked there since the 90s. His name is Nails. He really thinks he's a vampire. Hi, Nails. Just hello.
I mean, well, when you're a vampire, you're there.
No, well,
it's
when
for
my mom would
centuries.
drive me to school, we'd always see him in the morning walking to work with his trench coat and his little black umbrella, and he has like long black hair, and he had like the long nails.
I believe that's a parasol.
Oh, sorry, parasol. You're right.
I
My
only,
bad.
I only know that from
You're
Davey
right.
Havok. I used to remember Davey Havok
Take a
with his
point
parasol.
off my, and which is also why I brought a parasol to Warped Tour, was because Davey Havok did it, so I had to do it.
Yeah.
And my mom bought me this cute little black and red striped one. And so ipso facto, before there was, that's the name of the goth store, was where I got my prom dresses.
I thought you were
before there
just
was Hot
working
Topic.
that in conversation.
No,
and I
that's
was
the
so
name.
impressed.
It's the name
I'm
of
like,
the
when's the
goth
last time I
store?
heard someone just throw in an ipso facto?
Ipso facto. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know, but well, I think it worked contextually.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think you
okay.
used it properly
Well,
by accident.
no,
Anyway,
it's just
sorry.
the name of the goth store.
Yeah.
It's still there. It's super iconic. And they still have like old school lip service, because that, you know, doesn't really exist anymore, and like super vintage trip stuff, and you know, all the creepers you could ever imagine forever in Fullerton. Go get your creepers.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had, growing up in Indianapolis in the 80s and 90s, we had a store called Future Shock, which was like pre-Hot Topic, but it was just local, independently owned. But I don't know how we ended up there, but there was an English punk from like the 70s that was in a band called Toxic Reasons, who lived in Indianapolis and ran Future Shock with his
Cool.
wife.
Is it still there?
And I don't know. It's a good
Why
question,
did all
actually.
the punk stores in the 90s have the word shock? We had an electric shock in Huntington Beach. That was the punk store.
They're all like cousins.
Yeah, there's a lot of they all had the word shock in them for sure.
And one of the things I was talking about with Matt, Avenged Matt, was how a lot of those local record stores you would have clerks who were like gurus, right? Where you came in and they could tell you about different kinds of music, and they would tell you what sucked and what you should check
like
this
this
out.
this is the patch you need, and this is
Yeah.
the cool vinyl that you need. And
Yeah.
we had one of those
Curators.
black hole records, and then I think it was Black Hole Records / Black Cat Vintage in Fullerton, right across from ipso facto was the punk store across.
Oh wow!
And that's
So it's like a
where-
whole block of coolness.
Oh yeah, downtown Fullerton. I mean, it's still pretty. I mean, the stores are still there.
Wow.
You could still go. It's super vintage.
Good for them.
I know.
I'm gonna have to go now.
You should.
As much as I ever go anywhere.
Because it's what's the word when something's like historically important? Like it
Historic.
matters. It's historic. Oh, it's historic.
It's landmarks. Yeah.
I
No.
swear I'm a songwriter. I know words sometimes. I do this for a living, I swear.
That was the word. You were already there. So when you're getting into that stuff and you're having to chase it in these smaller places and it's not super accessible and you can't just order things online, what was driving that, you think, to just that need to be yourself, and despite bullying, despite...
How I grew up. Yeah, how I grew up, because my uncles, that's 100%, they influenced, I thought they were the coolest.
They get the credit for that.
Oh, I thought they were the coolest. When they both were very talented dancers, singers. My one uncle could sew. I'd get like, I remember I saw Gwen Stefani wearing a pink bondage shirt for a New Year's MTV performance. It's like a pink bondage skirt with black straps. And there wasn't a Hot Topic yet, even. And I told my uncle to make me something like it, and he did. He went to the fabric store and made me a little pink bondage skirt. And,
you could have started Lamb. That could have been the first Lamb piece.
I know, right? I look back and like, because I don't know where he's at in the world now. Our families, when you have an Italian family, when you split hard. So I haven't talked to them in a really long time. But I look back and like, man, it would have been cool to make clothes together because he was so talented. And but that's where I got all that from. Like they would put on these black like velvet robes, I remember, that they handmade, and put on the black lipstick and tease their hair, and I'd be, being babysat going, where are you guys going dressed up like that? They go, we're going to Denny's. Like, oh, I want to go.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go to Denny's.
Taking the parasol to Denny's, yeah.
Right? Like, goths went to Denny's.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And I just remember going like, I want to go to Denny's.
This is where the Portlandia sketch came from.
The what? Oh yeah, right.
Just goths
what the fuck is up, Denny's?
Yeah, with just being, out in everyday life. It's like when like those photo shoots of like black metal guys in corpse paint, like raking and
Or like
mowing the lawn.
the goths on the beach.
Goths on the beach. Yeah, goths on the beach.
So I always joke I never had a chance at being normal. I really didn't. My family was so weird. Like my grandma was teaching me how to make intestines out of old nylons for some reason when I was a kid. That was a
useful
fun
skill,
thing to do
maybe.
after school. And I remember I saw my first Fangoria magazine because they had a stack of Fangoria and I was too young to understand what it was. I think I looked up what the magazine was once. It was like Dead Alive or something, but the guy's having his skin pulled like this, you can see his brain, and I like couldn't wrap my head around that it was fake. And my grandma said, it's fake, don't be scared of it. And I like, could not understand that it was fake. I didn't know what that meant, but I knew I liked it.
Wow.
I knew I liked it.
Yeah, what a combination too, right? Of like, that seems real and it's cool.
I know, and now I'm so weird. I'm so weird, I'm so weird.
And so one of the things that I'm always attracted to in art, especially with musicians, are people like yourselves who, obviously it starts with the song, it's about the music, but then there's this whole world, this lore, this world building around it, where it's like, you know, even from your look to, you know, the imagery, the album artwork, the merch, the stage show, the way your whole band looks. I've just always been attracted to that. Those are always the kind of bands that I love. And so what goes into like building that, you know, because there's obviously so much more to it than just looking like every other band. Or even when I think about you being on Warped Tour, like, I mean, Warped is a hard tour to do, you know, and you're out in a parking lot in the middle, you know, playing at, you know, 1 p.m. or whatever in the sun,
1 p.m.
but you're still being New Year's Day. I saw Cradle of Filth do Ozfest in like 2002 in Dallas, Texas, on the second stage at like 2 in the afternoon, and they were in a full leather, full corpse paint, and it was just like, wow.
Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment, because I'm always kind of hard on myself. I always look back and I'm like, I could have done the lore better. You know, I always think back, I'm like, I should have done more of this or put more thought into that. And then I kind of beat myself up in hindsight that like I didn't give it even more thought or more background. But I guess every artist is really hard on their art after it's come out. They're like, I should have done this.
Yeah.
But you know where I got that from? Because on Warped Tour, we all agreed, no matter what version of New Year's Day it was, if it was, you know, the version with Jeremy Valentine and Brandon Wolf and Nikki, or the original lineup, or you know, the different eras, we always would agree the show should never suffer. You know, looks-wise. If it's 120 degrees and we're playing in Vegas at noon, we are wearing leather boots, leather jackets, and we're all gonna die. But the show was good.
Doing what we love.
The show was good, so who cares? And you know where I got that from? I forgot to mention my uncles were also drag queens.
Oh, rad.
So my first drag queen party, I was like maybe 8. And I have pictures, like printed out, developed pictures that I took on my little...
And it didn't destroy you as a person forever?
No,
Weird.
in fact, I feel like, I know I'm weird.
Yeah.
I know I'm weird, but I feel like it made me, like I said, I felt a lot cooler than everybody else. So my uncles were drag performers way before there was internet and way before anyone at school understood what that was. And I remember one of my friends wrote me this letter saying like, this is wrong, you shouldn't be around this. Like even back then, you know, because it's hard to understand. It's hard to understand. And they were very famous. They did Patsy and Adina from Absolutely Fabulous.
Oh, wow.
They would win awards.
Fab.
Yes, they would win awards. And my uncle would also, one of them would win awards for being Rita Rita. Like, could you be more cliche when it comes to old school drag? Like the fruit on the head, you know, like very cliche. And then they had an act where they did Lucy and Ethel. They would do the friendship song, like rip off the dresses. My uncle handmade it. Anyway, watching drag queens and how much effort goes into the show, even if there's like 5 people there, I think that's kind of where I got that from.
Yeah.
You know, really hand it up, always make sure it's what we call a good show. I call it good show, bad show. If there was one time Nikki like was feeling a little lazy and wanted to wear his Vans on stage, I was like, that's bad show. If you take them off, put your boots on. He's like, all right, Mom.
Yeah, we're going to war, you gotta get in your uniform.
Yes, well, and the way I see it is like, I'm sure there's lots of bands, not I'm sure, we know there's lots of bands where the low effort look.
That's the vibe, that's the aesthetic in and of itself.
But that's still work, that's still the aesthetic, it's still your uniform. And we all have a uniform, and I've just always been really passionate about that. I don't know why.
Yeah, and that was grunge, right? Was kind of this reaction to
it was still
aesthetically.
Uniform.
Right, but it was like coming after, like, we're not like those hair metal guys in spandex and tease hair or whatever, but it's like, exactly.
It's still your uniform.
But yet somehow you all look the same, Yeah,
it's not like you're letting one guy look like Vince Neil, while you all wear like the baggy pants.
Yeah, your
like
whole band has the same vibe.
You've all agreed on a look,
Yeah.
and so therefore it is your
That's so
uniform.
true. And you can
It's your
look
costume.
at that in all kinds of eras and all that, and just embracing it and choosing it for yourself, I think is a lot cooler than just kind of accidentally, unconsciously following the herd.
I feel like part of it was unconscious, and I just kind of let my weird mind guide me, and then part of it was kind of planned out. I wish I could take credit for the hair, but I can't. That was an accident.
But you did start it.
I know everyone thinks I'm a branding genius. I did. I thought of it. I planned it all out. I had the plan all along.
You have a cult of half heads now. I love that's probably. I mean, it's among my favorite things about following you on Instagram and on socials is how you're always like reposting like the half heads. And I was like,
it's awesome.
So many. That's like if I'm telling someone about you, that's one of the first things I tell them is I'm like, there's this army of people around the world who look like her, dress like her,
it's wild.
And are just like.
We were just in Paris, and this girl made an exact replica of my outfit, and she had the hair, and I thought, this is so cool. I'm gonna bring her up on stage so she can sing. But it's Paris, and she didn't know the English. She wasn't so good at the English part, so I was like, I should have given her the mic. Just take it back. And I was like, okay, you look great. Go back down on the stage, off the stage. But
you're like, merci beaucoup.
See, I didn't even know that.
Merci beaucoup.
I don't know.
Thank you very much. I took 3 years of French in school.
I did too.
That's about all I have left.
I did too, but
yeah.
We
went to school in America, so.
Yeah, I don't remember much of my French class.
I picked French because a girl I liked was taking it.
That's I'm sure why a lot
it was like
of
you
boys
could pick
picked
German,
classes.
Spanish, French, and
German would have been so cool.
Cool. Spanish would have actually been practical. I'd actually be using it now.
No, that would be wise.
Yeah, but
I've always wanted to learn Italian, and I'm trying to learn Swedish right now because my boyfriend, but I can't roll my R's, so I sound really like white girl, and it's a little embarrassing, so I gave up. I can say in Swedish, I can count to 10, and I can say horse bite.
Horse bite?
Yeah, I can say horse bite, hestebet, like a horse bite.
Oh, okay.
I can say.
I thought horse bite was the Swedish.
No,
I was like, how's that translate?
I can say long legs, long bien. So like essential things. Like
the thing about all those Swedish bands is I remember more than 20 years ago getting to know the guys in Flames. And I was just like, how you have this whole scene at the gates in Flames.
I love In Flames.
Soilwork, all those bands. And one thing, I feel like part of their secret, and maybe your boyfriend is in the same realm, they could do bands at school.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like in high school, you could like do a class that's like rock band, and they had gear.
Oh, shit.
And and so a lot of those bands, Dark Tranquility, a lot of those new wave of Swedish death metal bands, they started in high school because they were like going to band class now.
That's cool.
Yeah, here it's like you can play the tuba or the French horn.
Well,
there it's like here's a guitar.
There's always a place for the French horn.
I mean, no disrespect to the French horn community.
Like that's cool. Maybe like the timpani. That's.
I mean,
useful.
It all has its place.
I feel like I could have probably rocked the timpanis. It's pretty easy. Sorry, I don't want to disrespect timpani players, but I feel like I could do like the. Yeah. I could do this.
It might be very difficult. Yeah. It could be difficult. You never know.
Heavy.
But yeah, I just love that you have inspired that kind of following and that kind of passion in people, and it's a bunch of weirdos coming together and being weird together.
Accidental.
Yeah, it's the craft. We are the weirdos.
Yeah, I know. Oh, talk about one of my favorite movies when I was growing up was The Craft. I was so upset that I couldn't just change my eye color with witchcraft. My uncles had explained to me like, it doesn't work like that. I was like, but why?
It would be so cool.
Why can't I go like this? And
how am I not levitating?
Oh my gosh, how many times we tried to do that at summer parties? Oh, we would try so hard. I had a Ouija board, still have it. I've never contacted anyone from the other side, sadly.
But your grandma did stop the bullying.
She did, and I know there was other stuff she taught me, but that's the one that I can remember.
So what would you say, because I know you get asked this a lot, I'm sure, by a lot of your fans and things, to that girl or boy that's feeling bullied and feeling weird and likes interesting, cool things that other people don't like. What kind of advice do you have from your journey that you would say about being yourself and expressing who you really are?
Well, I always remind them that it's temporary. It's temporary. And then I always, because I get this message a lot, and I kind of have like my go-to things to say, I remind them it's temporary, and it feels very important. I hate using age, because it's hard to tell someone that age is a part of it when they're young. But I was like, I promise you when you get older, you're gonna feel so much more differently about this, and give it time and let your confidence build. And I always remind them like confidence comes with time, because I used to beat myself up when I was younger. I'd be like, why am I not like the other girls at the slumber party? Why am I not confident? Why am I not like them? And sometimes just takes longer to develop in some people, and there's nothing wrong with you. Because I used to think you're either born confident or you're not. You know, I was like, I wasn't born with confidence, I'm never gonna have it. And now I feel like I'm rocking like high levels of confidence. But I just remind them it takes time, and don't give up on yourself. And, you know, if I can, I always say, if I can do it, you can, because I remind them I'm not anyone special. I'm the same as you were as a kid, and if I can get there, so can you. Because I feel like they see people in bands as like gods forged by some otherworldly being. We're all special, and we're not. We're just the same as the same as them. So I go, if I could do it, you could do it. I promise you.
I love that idea of that separation between artist and audience coming down. And that's something else with a lot of the guests that we've invited to come into this series, is you're all creative people who also have that like, oh, this could be you and I'm you and we're the same. You know, like you were saying, that reaching over the barricade, and I'm on that side of it. And it's also like, because you know what it's been like to be on the other side of it. You know.
Well, it's a fine line. I feel like we're in an era, obviously, now where you're encouraged to share your personal life. You're encouraged to let people in, but then you also need to have boundaries and barriers too. So it's a really weird line that I have a hard time walking, for sure. Yeah. Because like, I definitely like to scoop people up. I have like a soft spot for certain people, and I scoop them up and like take them under my wing, which sometimes isn't great. I had to tell my mom, like, stop adding fans on Facebook, because they were like, you need to tell Ashley that I'm gonna kill myself if I don't talk. And my mom's like, hey, there's a girl that says she's gonna kill herself if you don't call her right now. Yeah. Okay, stop adding people, please. And she goes, well, there's one little girl that I really want to call. I was like, no. Yeah. We need to. Because it can boundaries. Yeah, it's tough because you want to, but you have to like set a bit of a barrier. It's a hard line to walk. Yeah, indeed. And how have you found going forward? Because I love how much of yourself you put out there, but also that you've always been smart enough to control it. I mean, but you. Well, debatable sometimes. But yeah. Did you have enough of yourself that you keep for yourself and for the people in your life that you're close to? I think I could do better sometimes. Yeah. I think I could do better putting myself out there. In which direction? Putting myself out there more, so I feel like that's the world we live in now. And I definitely get a scolding sometimes for not posting enough from the powers that be. And I'm like, yeah, I know I should, but like, who cares? Like, do we really care? Like, we'll use yesterday as an example. I posted a bikini photo, which I never do. I didn't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. Even though I shoot nude, like I say, the covers of my albums are no one texted me that bikini photo either. I don't know. Stop it. No, they did not. Right, we'll talk after. Who was it? I'll tell you later. Well, anyway, and then like I said, I've been nude on my album covers. I've been nude in Jeremy Saffer's book, Boobies Out, electrical tape. But for some reason, this bikini photo felt like too much, so I deleted it. And it was like up for colors, and I was like, what am I doing? This was just like yesterday. It was yesterday. Yeah, just yesterday. I was like, what am I doing? And so I deleted it. And I was like, but this is the world. There was like nothing compared to what's out there. It was like bikini. Who cares? And here's the thing about you posting it and deleting it. Now it's on the Brazilian Ash Costello fan pages. And yes. I mean, literally, it's still. I have a lot of Brazilian fan pages. But it like lives. That's the thing about that too, and being a public figure. Oh, it lives. Yeah, taking something down. Well, I found out the other day there's a website for my feet. Ooh. Yeah, I forget what it's called. But it's someone is collecting anytime my foot has appeared in like a music video or maybe a candid photo at the beach or something. And so there's like just a bunch of photos of my feet. And what was the other one I found? Oh, it gets darker. It gets darker. I was just about to say, I don't kink shame, but then it's far getting scarier. No, I don't want to kink shame either, but it is weird when it's you. And you see your own self. Someone had photoshopped faces of my face. I already don't bodies. Like it. As soon as you said photoshopped, I was photoshopped my face onto bodies in very questionable sexual acts. Yeah, that's not cool. And I had to show my boyfriend. I was like, they could have chose better photos of my face. Damn, like, come on, that's the face you chose. Oh, all right, somebody needs to talk to whoever's doing that. Like, and that gets so scary now with AI and stuff like that. And I have friends who mess around with AI and just even in group chats where they're sending videos of just like, for fun. Yeah, like, I have a photo of myself that I quite adore that our glorious director and executive producer Gus Black took. And the other day, a friend of mine sent me that photo, and it's now a video where I'm standing, and then the frame widens, and I'm sitting down on the toilet. Oh no! Yeah. Oh, no. I'll have to send it to you. That's pretty funny though. Yeah, and it's like,
But you see that and then you think like, oh, how scary is this going to get when this is being
Oh, it's
abused?
already scary. We just don't know about it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
When it's not so fun.
I'm sure it's dark out there. I just put my blinders on. I'm just so happy in my little corner of the world, in my house that's not so new now. You would love it. It's like it's like Dracula's castle. It's Nosferatu's cave coming.
It's the
to
inside
life.
of my soul, is what you're saying.
It really is everything I've always wished to have. It really is. And it's coming together, and it's like, it's very hard to remember there's stuff outside going on. Because we don't even watch the news. We barely get on our phones, you know.
That's great. It's so healthy, though. I mean, and that's having that balance.
Yeah, I think the most news he looks at Blabbermouth now and again. One time he was like, "You're on here." Like it was like a week ago. He's like, "You're on here." I was like, "What? Why am I on Blabbermouth right now?" I was like, "Ash Costello says she's gonna go nuts on the next record." I'm like, when did I say that?
Great
headline.
headline.
Why is that news? Like, okay.
Maybe someone asks you, "Are you gonna go nuts?" And
I
you're
was
like,
like,
yeah,
"I'm gonna go nuts." Like, because I've never gone nuts before. I don't even know what that means, really. I was like, that doesn't seem like news to me, but maybe it was a slow day.
Slow news day, as
a
they
slow
say.
day in the Blabbermouth offices. I don't know.
That's fun. So I love just your whole journey and everything that you've been building. I know you said you've got your checklist of different things you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, there's the band, and you've done stuff with, clothing and jewelry, and
I've dabbled.
you've dabbled. Are you cooking anything else in that realm? There's things cooking, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a, you know how we were just talking about how I've been tunnel vision on this one thing?
Yeah.
I've had this sort of awakening this year when I realized I'm doing Warped Tour and it's 20 years later. And I feel like I'm in a really important transitional period for me. And I feel pulled to do something extremely drastic. And I'm not entirely sure how that's going to develop yet or what that means exactly. I think I know. But I'm the kind of person, and I think I've told you this, I know this sounds really hoity-toity, but I really let the universe guide me. Like, I feel pulled to do this, and I know the answers will reveal themselves when they're meant to, but I feel like it's gonna happen soon.
Wow.
So things are gonna change in a way I think hopefully people will think is really cool.
So you've had these moments in your life where you felt led to do something or called to do something or kind of pulled in a gravitational orbit. And one of those things is the Haxons, which for people who don't know is you and Piggy D, or are we calling him Count D? He plays in Marilyn Manson's band right now. He was with Rob Zombie for a long time.
Yeah.
He hosts a show for Gibson TV. He does all kinds of, he's like all of our cool friends that do cool things. He does a bunch of stuff.
He's incredibly talented. Talk about someone with ideas. He's got like for a while we were gonna do a puppet show, like a spooky Scooby-Doo style cartoon, and then it turned into a puppet show, and we actually spent thousands to have puppets made.
Wow.
And
are the puppets like characters, or are they you
they're
guys?
characters. It was us, but then we had a whole cast and crew of characters, and we even made a pilot episode. But the way his mind is so, it moves quick, and his ideas come to life very quick. He's amazing at executing ideas, and he's got so many that it just moves so fast. So some ideas kind of hit the cutting room floor. But yeah, so Matt, we met when he was playing with Manson, and we met on the black carpet of the Metal God Awards, and it was instant love. Like, I loved him like a brother. He loved me like a sister almost instantly. And
was he playing with Manson then, or with Zombie?
No, he was playing with Zombie then.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you
sorry,
wanted
he was
to
playing
take
with
that over,
Zombie. So he was playing with Zombie, and he was at the Metal God Awards, and we were introduced by a mutual friend. And it was like love at first sight. And a couple months later, he said, I have a music project that I feel like you would be perfect for. And I can't take any credit for the Haxons. That's all him. Even though he would tell me, like, I write the songs, like I try and imagine I'm you, and write the songs I think you would write and want to sing. And he always nailed it. I think very, very few times a song was like rejected. And yeah, we did that for, gosh, I mean, over 10 years. Long
I
time
feel like
together.
you were Twin Temple before Twin Temple, in
Yes.
a way, you know?
Yes, we were, but it turned into this thing when we finally got to tour because he was so busy with Zombie and I was so busy with New Year's Day. The very few times that our schedules lined up and we got to tour, it was like just confetti exploded out of our bodies. We're like, we know we're this goth, like, Satan singing band, but we have to wear sequins and rainbow, and we have to put our hair in pigtails and wear big eyelashes and like wear pink clown shoes. And it was like we were like kids in a candy shop. We were just having so much fun.
And also to go from each of you going from band environments where there's a lot of people and a lot of moving parts and things like that, to have this thing where it's like you and him.
Yeah.
I mean, that vibe has to just be its own.
Oh my gosh, when we toured together, because he was used to zombie. We're like, your food menu gets slid underneath your 5-star hotel room door. Here's your breakfast, sir. We were driving ourselves in his dad's Ford pickup truck around the country, and I'd have to keep awake with him while he drove all night, and we would just talk horror for hours, talk about movies we grew up watching, talk about music, talk about life, and we did that for like a month and a half every day. But he always felt like my brother. He knows more about me than a lot of people. A lot of people.
Every conversation I've ever had with him, inevitably we swerve into horror movie nerdery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a lovely person to talk to. He's like one of the nicest people.
He's a fellow Fred head. Do you have your half heads? Do you have your Fred heads? Your Freddy Krueger people?
I'm a Freddy Krueger person.
I'm saying,
Okay, I'm a
Fred
Fred
heads.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and I have a lot of weird synchronicities. Like, we both figured out the first Fangoria we ever saw was the same one.
Was the same one.
Was the same one with the head,
Yeah.
And there's one of my favorite movies growing up was Quackbusters. Do you remember Quackbusters? You don't know Quack?
What's Quackbusters?
Shut it down. Shut down the whole thing. Quackbusters. It was like
Were there ducks involved?
No, it was Looney Tunes, but it was like the horror movie, like the horror version of Looney Tunes.
Really?
Oh my God, no
It's
one
animated?
ever has. No one ever. I'll send you. We'll make sure you get it. But the thing is, he knew it, and not only did he know it, he would quote my favorite quotes from it, and we would watch it and just die laughing. Like,
that's incredible.
I've probably laughed the hardest with very few people in my life, and he's one of them. So, but I'm so happy he's with Manson, and he looks so happy. He looks so good, and he's doing great. So I'm just happy he's doing something awesome right now.
I love the Haxons.
Me too.
The Haxons, it technically still exists, right? It's always there if you want it.
It exists.
You're both very busy.
It exists, and Matt and I will always be brother and sister. And as much as you love your brother and sister, you can have arguments,
of course,
and falling outs and moments that we've had multiple times in the 10 plus years, because we've done the Haxons for over a decade, and we've had seasons where we've been mad at each other, which is not something I'm super used to that often, but when you're really close with somebody, that can happen. I've never had that dynamic before, besides with Nikki. Nikki and I had that dynamic, except for our falling outs are like a day.
Right.
And then he'll call me.
Again, it's like family.
Yes, it is like that. And so we're in a period right now where he and I just need to do our separate thing, and then we'll come together when it's right, which has happened before. And if it doesn't
Next time
come
Disneyland
together,
calls and asks you to perform there. Yeah.
Oh, I had so much fun doing that.
Yeah.
I had so much fun being at Knott's. That was like, I felt so alive and at home. I think he hated it.
Really?
Oh, I think he hated it.
Wow.
I think he hated every second of it. But I loved it. I thought it was great.
Oh, that was so cool. Well, I think Disney needs to be next after Knott's.
Well, I don't think they like my kind right now at Disney. I know they allow some tattoos, but I think dead maybe might overdo it.
Well, what about Bat Day? Or what do they call it? The Goth Day?
Bats Day,
yeah.
I'm always out of town for that. It sucks. I think I've gone once.
I don't think I've ever gone on purpose, but I think I was there once not knowing it was that.
You think,
I was like,
or you know?
Yeah, I looked around
Because
and I was like,
if you saw hundreds
all
of
our
goths,
people are here. What happened?
But then again, it's also putting myself in in the Mecca, and so it becomes like a every few seconds.
Yeah, hard
kind
to
of
navigate.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like when people, we go to the dog park every day where we live, and everyone that comes to the dog park is like 70 plus years older. They're older than us. And after a while of us being there and looking the way we do, they go, so what do you guys do? And we were like, should we tell them what we do? Like, should we make something up that sounds normal? And so we told them what we do.
I don't think they're going to believe you.
No. And so we told
I
them.
work at a bank.
I'm a bank teller. And so we told them what we do, and they looked up our bands, and now they go, so you guys are famous? And I always say the same thing. I go, it depends on what hot topic you're at. If you're at the right hot topic, I'm very famous.
Yeah.
But most of the time, maybe not so much that Trader Joe's. I doubt it, but.
It's difficult because I've had this conversation with Andy and Juliet where you have this frustrating level of notoriety where enough people know who you are and can be intense about it to make some situations uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Or make you feel maybe unsafe even.
Yeah.
But you don't have such a level of fame and wealth and success that you can be secluded in the hills somewhere inaccessible.
This is how I see it. So when my boyfriend and I go out, we get stopped for photos, either one of us, and we're famous enough where we went to a bar and we saw someone secretly filming us. And then we were like, are they filming us? And then eventually they came up to us and asked for a photo. And we're like, okay, they were for sure filming us.
Right. Yeah.
And but we're not famous enough to have VIP escort service at Disneyland.
Exactly.
Which is all I want. I want
But
the
just
people.
but practically though, like I know you're being funny, but it's also like practically.
I just want it because I want it.
Right.
Because I just want it.
But that's the frustrating like sort of zone, and everything's very segmented in subculture, and it's like people who do know who you are know who you are.
Yeah.
Right. But then it's not. Yeah, you don't get VIP at Disneyland.
Which is fine. I never feel bothered. I love when someone stops me for a photo. Like every time, I'm so gracious and happy and glad they felt like they could do that. But yeah, I want the VIP escort. You know, the girl with the little hat and the skirt and the light, and then you get to walk through the back of the ride. That's all I want.
Put that on that list.
Yeah, it's on my vision board.
That's in your transitional phase right now.
I hope so.
Ashley Costello, thank you so much for joining me in this Fire with Fire setting. I think you are an inspiration to anyone who wants to be themselves and, like you said, not diminish their own light and step into their confidence.
You are so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. I feel like if there's few people who really know me, like really know, and you are one of the very few.
I mean, likewise.
And don't tell anybody.
It's mutually assured destruction, so.
It's true. True.